So it's short sleep, but two crazy dreams. One that already processed what I heard on the radio, namely about an attack of an Asian lady in Midtown. Midtown, for those who don't know, is considered a rich area, wide considered. It's a business area. The lady was attacked. That is 8 o'clock news. That was reported on the national, whatever, the NPR channel, the WNYC, WNYC. Yes, sirens. She was with sirens brought to a hospital nearby. I was also attacked last year, one more time saying it, because no reporting happened. I was attacked twice. Once, in fact, let's not even talk about it, how often I was attacked, but I was physically, really seriously attacked in the hospital, and they had to stretch me out. I was definitely badly hurt, to say the least. I survived, the Asian lady survived. Now, that is context, okay? I just woke out 2 films. I talk about 2 films, 2 dreams. 2 dreams inspired. Gallery. And steps. Because the second time around, I was also attacked before and after. I was attacked before and after in the house several times. In disgusting ways. And then you hear, and this is northern Manhattan, to say it bluntly, not saying Harlem. It is live, obviously. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning. I slept maybe a half an hour. I must have slept and dreamt half an hour. And in that dream, which I try to tell you now, now comes the dream. I was dreaming that there was a woman who visited me, a kind of a Buddha. And that Buddha was sitting in my space, meditating or watching something, but definitely bigger than me. Even thought it was a Buddha, so it had an Asian face. Now that Asian face was actually a friend of mine. I have to say, a friend of mine. A friend of mine I talked to recently. a friend of mine who is a writer who I happen to know for a long time has seen me in the streets mostly, has seen me suffering from all the attacks from all sides, but again, most likely the worst ones from inside. And those even put me in the street, out of the house at least, let's just call it that way. In the street, into the galleries, into Grossland, video, Instagram, whatever, public life, back on track, on a gallery, because a new starter, a gallery called Alex Zachary, now also closed. A wealthy person, closed, but an insider person, not been seen, but seen on the periphery sometimes of the art world because wealthy and connected. Now, the person who I met through her was a Yale graduate from friends of mine that show Petzel, that show, that's a gallery by the way, that show Capitan, that show, in fact, those people, from within the art world, a generation of the best dealers, let's call it downtown as well, because they are now Chelsea. Now, talking about those young German dealer, approximately my age, younger, there are American counterparts that work together, and suddenly language is not anymore a problem. Like one of them would be Andrew Krebs, another one would be Petzel, another one would be, related ones of that. And I would say definitely by name Anton Kern. Kern is, again, somebody who is a son of a painter, which Max likes to hear or not, but that brings you back to Baselitz, or Baselitz, or Baselitz, or, you know what I mean? A painter that disappeared, of upside down paintings, really intelligently. That brings you back again to certain academies. At least we are in Germany. I think we agree we are in Germany. And that from there brings us back again from Germany to certain art academies, and then back into the US or into Japan. We see an entire new art world that came with that generation, would say, but they are connected. They are connected, for example, they go back to a downtown scene around Pattern, dead, calling the land even more dead or less dead, depending. Two artists, punk rockers, that come again with artists that, like, particularly calling the land, comes again with artists that are, for example, all people I hang out with, by the way, that's why I know it, that are defining stuff today. Galleries, artists, because yet the generation earlier, around that time, writers are Joshua Dichter. There are people that appear in names. They have disappeared, but some are still alive. And that brings us back to young writers. And then even those artists, professors, or just commentators, or power brokers, or writers, brings us back into the 80s, brings us back to those artists that are also Los Angeles, that are Canada, that are Jeff Waltz, that are also nice people. That brings us into Marion Goodman, no? And then we have Sunday photographs that also are on the auction block for millions, hence toys for billionaires or millionaires or for investor clubs. That generates again itself an entire club of artists like Wolfgang Tillmans, Germany, also behind the artwork that sold for 60 million recently on the art market, associated with so-called NFTs. That brings us then where on the west side of Lower Manhattan, called Chelsea. That brings us back then right over to Germany again. And that brings us to really free schools like Cooper Union. If you want to go back into the younger scene, like, people that are dead already, like some are dead, some are still around, but for example, some are now just the feeding biennial stuff and legion building stuff, myth and films and art upon art styles. That brings us back to the conceptual circuit, into the biennial circuit. That brings us into the 90s. That brings us Michel Mayeros. In terms of picture making, brings us back to Susanne I am again at the Venice Biennial. I was a couple of times there. That brings me back into the 90s. Up to what? Into the 2000s. Biennials brings me back, Oquidad brings me back to Sevilla, down into history. Anyway, up and down, in and out. But my situation, that's a trash car, is still shit. No respect. Shit. Shit means when people treat you short nickeled or short changed or like shit. Means when they have zero respect, when they are quite much younger, zero respect when you then are kind of part of a generation that has losers and winners, but still you keep working. And then you could ask, what do I do wrong? What do I do right? And I think I do what I know best, no? And that is just to remember, to dream, to film, to try to capture my dreams, in fact, to describe them while they happen. I mean, they just happened now. In fact, I was just dreaming maybe from today is the 31st March. No, I think that should be March 2021. I put that up on YouTube a channel that still exists, no? Has a lot of memory on it. I think it has. But there, you're again dead on arrival. Nobody watches it. Why should they? Because everybody can just make it. Anybody, just like me, fall asleep, say it, do it, film it, whatever, have a lot of fun. In fact, I close my eyes, I just talk. I think I'm 15 minutes over because I reflect upon my dreams, and then I'm kind of reflecting also news, so news actually are amazingly positive. They're currently around positivity, in fact, like COVID. So things should go up yet. Poverty is an issue, asylums are an issue, mental sickness is an issue, for sure, because the guy, the attacker, was obviously found. We know them, or in that case, the police knows him, her. I mean, asylum, no gender. Asian woman, midtown, reported. White guy, Migros, like man in Harlem, not reported. So you see the difference, why I have to even go back and pretend, in fact, I am still under the weather. How they say here, when one has a certain condition. I took already I took steroids. I took asthma medicine twice, several times, maybe too much. I can breathe, I can think, I think I can remember. That was one of the two dreams. I haven't moved to the second dream. Back to the first dream. Okay, the Buddha has two hands. One right hand, one left hand looking straight. A Buddha. Now the Buddha was a woman, by the way, sorry for that. And the Buddha started as a friend of mine. I'm also sorry for that. And it started under Hichi, a friend of mine who happened to be a writer. In fact, I had a lot of conversation with her. I never grossed her out. She obviously has a right to feel really grossed out if I mention her name, and particularly if she ever finds out that I was dreaming of her. But what was the dream about? Why was that maybe gross or not? Because she had the hand straight, meditating, left and right, and there were two people on those hands leaning. And that's a situation that kind of helped symbolize what I experienced when I was dealing with her on for a moment, daily level. Actually, for quite some time in the beginning, when there were a lot of problems in my family. So on the left hand of the Buddha, and remember, she turned into a Buddha, a marble statue, okay, and her face was stoic, marble-ish, kind of frozen in time, on time. In the dream, it's a dream, okay? Remember, I talked about dreams that have to do with the unconscious, that have to do with shit, or memory, or whatever the fuck that is. Sorry for the F word. Because I don't want to make you fall asleep. In fact, no, not at all. In fact, I try to stay still kind of not moving too much. I let the second dream go, what the fuck. Meaning, I let it go, I don't care. Now, back to the Buddha. On the left hand, two children dancing on her hand, and one was Edgar, obviously my longest child, and the other one Isadora, because that brings me maybe to the second dream. Isadora was the second dream. But let's stay on the first one. they were jumping around before Isadora comes back as a second dream, because she is my second born. And she was dancing around the Buddha with an incredible will to power to just do what the fuck. She revolted. She was so fucking strong. And Carle was, by the way, not seen those kids for, that's context, that's life, not seen for them for 5 years. Yeah, exactly. I breathed. Now, in my current situation, I become Buddha-ish myself. I lie on the couch. I lie in my bed. I just don't care how I look because I'm alone. In fact, I have a head over my eyes and just try to keep the technology that hopefully records me. Does it record me? Yeah, 21 minutes. Looked up, and what do I see up there in the camera? I see just basically the pipeline. Okay, fine, nothing. Meaning I can keep talking, meaning you don't get distracted. And you do not want to envy me. One more time, you do not want to envy me. Don't you ever dare to envy me. You can have my life immediately. I take yours. Obviously not possible, but don't take my life. Don't attack me when you see me. Don't say to me that Harlem needs to be white. I mean, needs to be black or white or any fuck. Don't attack me. In the street was a skateboard, and that is somebody who knew me. So I look up, I fall asleep. In fact, I wake up quickly. I have dreams about my children on the Buddha's left hand, because they were dancing on that hand. That person was petrified. Therefore a Buddha, not a Buddhist, petrified. Too much shit happened on her left hand, on her right hand. Because on the right hand, I took that arm and hang on it. Just I have a strong hand to lean on the fucking arm. Like the fucking pipeline I see quite a bit, no? Up there, isn't there a pipeline? That's my Buddha, maybe. Isn't that a Buddha? And then I go into my stupid basement and I see another pipeline. And I worry whether they come falling on my head. They're actually quite steely. They are fine. I hang my shit up there. Currently, fucking art hanging there. That brings me back to reality because I have no money. Nobody believes me that one. But it is whatever I do wrong. What the fuck? And what's now the next mistake I'm gonna regret? But in the meantime, I start making those videos public because I cannot write it down. If anybody any time, me for example, it would be me watching it. I could say today, the 31st of what? March, now April here again. Summer's warm, eating fucking food. I cannot continue eating the way I eat. It's unsustainable because I've only diarrhea. I have diarrhea. I cannot eat that food anymore. I have to stop eating from the street. I try to get away from the street food to go shopping again. Going Amazon shopping again. Meaning I go again to Whole Food, queue up there, get the fucking food there, meet the wrong people there as well. Also disgusting because white, and they were walking with me. They don't want to hear their names. I don't need to name their names, but they will see me Whole Food. That's one of the reasons I didn't want to go Whole Food. But then it's exactly another reason why I want to go Whole Food, because if I want to meet somebody who would talk to me, from those who just can go there, think to get more nutritious food, well, it would be Whole Food here, wouldn't it? But then you go there, there's a lot of jungle going on. They don't like bikes in there, for example. They operate as a kind of community center. That is also problematic. It attracts a lot of lunatics also. People who can't handle the shit are in the street, on the street, rambling crazy. You get robbed, in one word, easily around here, because anybody going in and out is perceived as if they have endless credit, which for some might be somehow the case. But remember one thing, you have to pay nonetheless. What's the price? So don't envy anybody. Because the price is that you are an artist, you work for so long, endlessly, and they treat you all like shit. Particularly when you are like me, an immigrant, when you start from scratch, when you say you work, and when you know, whatever. I mean, when your daddy doesn't have a company, or is whatever generation, whatever. You understand? I don't know whether you understand. And why should you? Because you don't know me. I don't even know myself. In fact, I talk about dreams and reality now. They are intertwined. Something I like to capture, which I call Manhattan Marxism, or whatever damned form of, talking and dreaming, and come the Marxists, maybe it's better. Or one of my other leaders' websites, I want to be Alfred Jarry. Or maybe Strange Teachings. And Strange Teaching.com, and that's maybe my own website, would be Ganahl.info, wouldn't it be? Those who come across those films, Ganahl.info, maybe you'll find more information there. And then my name, just in case you come across it, because sometimes people on those channels just randomly come across stuff. Even when you are gone, the stuff is technically up. At least on YouTube it should be up. No, on my own website I stopped paying, it's over. But YouTube, I don't think they take people down. They're just forgotten. No. Hence, there's an entire memory out there. In fact, it is a form of a memory, isn't it? Hence, it is not a bad channel. Now, that's YouTube recognize that. YouTubing is a form of income for certain people becoming stars. Their entire productions on YouTube. In fact, it's part of a media complex. And from there, certain people are taking back into the media universe of what we had under Trump. Because he failed as a real estate person, he became an entertainer. And that meant he was a TV star. Then he created his own channel, and then so on and so forth. So that brings me to the other people who wait for the Trump channel to come, but so far I don't see one, no? I mean, there's only Court channel, I would say, for him relevant. I think Court channel might be a better way. I mean, I don't know what happened to him. Anyway, let me go to the other dream, the first dream back. The first dream is I was holding on to that arm like crazy, and I am not Cuomo, CEO, I mean the governor of the state of New York. The state is not the city. but it's the East Coast of USA, and then I talk DHL, and I talk they need, in case you want to know, they need 3 business days. Just like FedEx, anything, if you want it fast and it has a certain volume, it costs a lot of money. It costs about $200, 3 days, 3 business days. Depending on your zip code, a business day is 3 business days. It's like, has cutoff times. And then they're having Central Time, calling DHL in the morning already, like looking for stuff, because some people just drive me nuts. They pretend to be this and that, and then they are, and then they are not. They fade in and fade out. I love them according to the way they treat me. And currently I feel a little bit mistreated, grossly mistreated, because they want me to pay a fine of $2,500 for what? They don't even explain it to me. They promise me shit, which would be in itself funny and disgusting at the same time. But given the treatment I get, why should I do anything? What is there to be in it for me? What is there to be expected? Why paying that money to somebody to help me find maybe what? More shit? Definitely more debt. They are so happy now with themselves. They are retreated, my friends, who helped me once and then not again, and then maybe again one more time. Maybe they're still helping me, but currently they are on a hiatus. They make now films again, and they might see that film. So I wish them good luck. They might hear how I feel, how I perceive them, because I am not happy. How can I be happy when it's told, when it's said, pay first this entrance fee of so much money, when I already produce so much expensively under obnoxious, deck-breaking, nightmare-having, dramatic dreams, I would say, no? I mean, in the end, a nightmare is a dream, no? Albtraum, again, I repeat myself. I have another pipeline up there, isn't there? Another pipeline. Oh, okay, that's the one that goes up, and there's another artwork there going up. That's a distortion. So I keep on talking what I perceive is a dream, an analysis, a dream analysis, a nightmare analysis. No, isn't that a form of analysis? You can call it from an analytical point of view a self-analysis. You can call it a Ganahl analysis. You can call it also a pipe dream analysis or an anal analysis, anal analysis. A-N-A-L, because I have fucking diarrhea from fucking eating food. I cannot eat anymore the food that is handed out because I get diarrhea. I have what I call a darm infection. I have a kind of, it's not typhus, it's not some pest, but anything I eat becomes an anal problem, a pain in the ass, so to say. It just runs through. So I need to disinfect. So I'm back to disinfecting again. It's so disgusting, the food is so fucking disgusting, that food I have. It will be, I will have to disinfect everything the moment I get up. Do I even want to get up and go into the fucking trash? And that has to go out. And then I clean my damned fridge. And then I still have no money, and I will get, hopefully or not, phone calls about pay me the money up front for services that are by themselves disgusting, because they are not supposed to be paid by the artist. It's supposed to be paid by the funny people I trusted once that let me down and helped me up and still helping me. In fact, they helped me. They reconnect me yet to even more impressive people in the amazing world of whatever that is. I mean, I don't want to even hear it because it's a political domain. It's about Cuomo, it's about lobbyists, it's about Cuomo, the governor of New York. I love it there, talking to these gentlemen or women. I mean, in my case, 3 gentlemen, 2 gentlemen. I'm the 3rd gross man in the chain. But yeah, it's a degree I boss around, but who do I have even to boss around? As a teacher, not really too many people to bother with. And then, after all, or maybe a lot, but not my children. Those I miss. I miss my children. My children are living in the other place, though, supposedly with a gross man. And I have to pay for that shit show, and I cannot even see my children. Of course, they're turning now 13, not yet 14, but are teenagers. 13 in, I would say, 13 in July, no? At the end of it, because now the date becomes more and more of a problem, no? Give me your ID, give me your this, give me your that. And then Isadora's still turning 10, is 10 in April, in a few days. Yeah. Will I see her for the 10th birthday? No. The bitch lets me not see it. Bitch, sorry for that, but how can I perceive her differently? Because she got proper treatment from me. She lied under oath, didn't she? She did. So I was in actual jail. And now both are suing me. Both. In fact, with both I am in court, no? On one, I'm just the petitioner. You might know when you listen to my things, 2 women competing. And then I will be always in that situation currently, because it's not like I couldn't just, I could just forget them, but what does it mean that you don't have any life? Because it has been now life absorbing. And it will be for quite a little bit of time. That brings me then where? Until 16 or 17? What's going on here? Now in the second dream, that is really connected also to reality. In fact, in that nightmare, and remember, just to talk about my dream is no longer than my dream itself. But I think Isadora played here a major role, because Isadora was just like, she was admired by everybody because she was incredibly revolting and strong. And back to when Isadora was a baby, where I was, so to say, in love, yes, of course. Before love turned against me, as if I wouldn't kind of have not, I anticipate those things somehow. Because I experienced already from the start certain problems, but then somehow too late, because then you're already like gone, no? When you fall in love, then you're gone, no? Then you're gone, then you're pot. But as you have seen, I have to move on. In fact, I'm forced to move on. Do I really want to go anywhere? I go because I have no choice, because people kick me out. People kick me out. I mean, don't forget that one. It's not like I wanted to come into fucking America. It's not like I wanted to be sitting in fucking Harlem. I love Harlem. Sorry for Harlem. It's just from my perspective, when you get killed because you're not looking black, I'm sorry for that. So I love Harlem. I love to be in Harlem. I'm here since 1991. But quite a bit attacked. And my last one could, of course, be my life. So one more time, I'm sorry I just say the F word. On an amazing neighborhood that is now my only neighborhood I know well. With children I don't get to see. And I was never the one who lied under oath. I was not beating my children. I was not putting them under stress or anything. In fact, no, somebody else did. Instrumentalized the children, made them hit me in the face. I mean, really with objective. In the other house, that was wild. And so did the woman who was the solution, who also hit me really hard with a fist into my face. Therefore, that's a repeating act, in fact, with her, but also with others. Because I have learned from early on that they beat you up anyhow. So, in fact, you kind of develop a different form of response, no? I'd say yes. Meaning, I am a pacifist. And yet I don't want to die in the streets. But there's no way I can win a fight and go crazy or anything like that. No, so you relax. You pull back. You just figure out the way, nonetheless. In my case, I just talk to the camera. I don't need much. Not that I couldn't, but I love cameras. I love writing screenplays and stuff, but I am not a film producer. You see, I fall asleep as well, but that's a form of self-hypnosis right there. Sleep talking, sweet talking and sleep talking, and cheating people. In fact, that's how I felt right now while I'm speaking, because all my early artworks are in Berlin. They need to go somewhere else. They already are kicked out again from a place I was from beginning on happy, and then I felt fucked over. But then it proved itself a nice place, and then again fucked over by autocrats. In that case was a lady right away who had a situation. Once I had a situation that was for a moment great, a talk, a conversation, an exhibition. It turned into a nightmare before the opening already, because it was a political show, a Trump show, and I kind of knew make at least a document that we will see it ever happen, because under those working conditions, my God, what's there to be expected when you know the person already from an earlier time, when you already heard, when you were friends with them, when you see it one more time, what goes on, and then, it doesn't take too much of a combination to, when you teach histories of generations, when you teach as a historian and a psychologist and a philosopher by training, when you teach that shit, I mean, when you specialize in trauma history of a nation, in fact, as a historian, that's what you kind of are. And when you have degrees in literatures, you learn certain things. No, I would say you do. That's why we are teachers, no? And speak a few languages maybe when you're from Europe. And don't think everybody looking white is necessarily, you know what I mean? The intellectual Habermas or whatever damned person is now on demand in a country that names itself a country of letters. Haha. You know, when I see just violence and fascism and Faschistoid, faschistoidisch oder autoritäre, that's maybe a better word, authoritarian asshole, I would say asshole, sorry for that, asshole conclusions, thinking just meaning, what does it mean? It means like when they treat you like shit from your perspective, in that case mine, I perceived it as disgusting from A to Z. But again, that's my opinion, others might have other ones, that's fine. But I need to see now, I get just kicked out of that gallery that I was trusting. And then I made that mistake and sold them something, where I have a basement. And now get the fuck out of it, not talking, just out of it. Really not nice, traumatizing. And then I'm even under COVID, I'm actually not the most healthiest guy, believe me that one. I might come across as very healthy, but rather I am rather an eclectic, an asthmatic on steroid. I take asthma magazine, that is really expensive, experimental magazine. Medicine, I think is the word, medicine. My kids, not to see them for so many time. I haven't seen them for years and years, That is, I would say, really fucking annoying. It's not traumatizing, it is annoying. Because if I keep saying traumatizing, if I phrase my condition psychologically, they might just call up again, 911, come by, pick me up, and say the guy is more relaxed. Where? At the psych unit, where I don't even get to film myself, where I can't even fill out invoices and handle my business. Even though it's a failing business. Yeah. Notifications come in, they say, they make fun of me now, do this, do that. And now if I fart, good, I'm happy. It's not just all, I would say, liquid. Because the diarrhea situation I had in the middle of the night, when it was like nightmare, dreaming and, dirt of a certain kind, when that was all because I need to change my diet. I can't eat that shit anymore. But it still tastes so well when you mix it the way I do it. But then it seems, maybe that seems to be the virus, that I eat just shit and I need to eat so much. I don't get to get my cheese is out, so I need to buy maybe more healthier food, more nutritious food, I would say, more stinky food, and then hopefully it's not going in the other direction. Because Isadora was, as a kid, constipated. And those are all situations that Hichi knew very well when she was around. She wants to study now. She said, my last conversation was, she wants to study psychology, of course. But she's still one of the most amazing writer I knew of her generation. And then why do I have dreams of a Buddha, a very strong person? And then I know her situation so well. In fact, I know her in and out very well. But we never had an intimate relationship, in the sense that is a gross relationship that would be, there was no anything, but there was a lot of leaning from the left to the right to the left, particularly when we had troubles, we helped each other out. We were always open, and we talked a lot about what was wrong in our lives. We heard ourselves out in summers and in winters. But gone are those times. So you lose friends in the art world and you gain them. And then they always complained I had no money when they had really better money than me, more leftover money than me, because less obligations. I am already 50 minutes just so, and I don't like that at all, because I have these pipes there, meaning I still talk pipe dreams, albträume, nightmares, but one was beautiful, children running on the left hand of a Buddha, me leaning on the other hand of a Buddha, and that means maybe that's exactly what it's got, because we're having a screen. That Buddha is suddenly Namchu Pike, with who I studied. Guess what the fuck, And that's why I like to be treated like shit back in those days. That seemed to me also like gone too fast. Years gone by too fast. Maybe that's an education. That's nearly half a life. No, it's not half a life. In fact, you keep really running up towards like older age, but always just emerging. Again, treated like shit in the street. I see other ones, very young ones, doing incredibly well, talented, and they're just like stunningly well, supposedly. And do they even talk into the world as I do? In fact, that's maybe the problem, why I have a digesting problem. It's too much stuff. Yeah. This film should maybe be called Too Much Stuff. Stumbling. Recapturing nightmares. Buddha. I don't know. Anyway, it's a film by me, Rainer Ganahl. Call it the COVID man, a COVID woman film, What the fuck? Nobody wants to see the shit. Anyhow. I'm sorry I made those films. Don't hold them against me. Try to understand me, okay? I am sorry. I hope I didn't harass somebody here. Because those are claims I have ahead of me. Holy crap. I never was doing anything gross to anybody. But I have been subject of beatings and knife attacks and object attacks. And in the case of the last one, that is now the second one in the court circuit, I can't say her name anymore. The writer, the really amazing writer. There are so many people. Her mother gave her, so to say, a Jewish name, so she has it better in life. She meant it well, but some Jewish people might think that's bizarre, that's obnoxious, that's anti-Semitic. With my history and research, I think I can say that. I would say so. It's still time. I have 6 minutes to finish this film off, as hopefully one day seen film, because after all, I was already once in Berlin with the film, hence I might even know what film is about. That's kind of shit I even teach. Don't I teach? Am I a teacher? I'm a kind of a teacher about film, so why can I not make my own damn films the way I want them? And I am not a film school. I'm not saying I have to be a film school. Anything is a film. It's just like art. Anything is art, isn't it? So it's an art film what I do. In fact, I just call it a dream narration. explanation. No, turning Buddha marble in a Revelation film, huh? Just an anal Ganahl film, maybe because we talked about gross shit. Huh? I still wanna sleep. I say because people would say if I would say I wanna die. Some people would just call, but again they would have. I do not wanna die. In fact, that's my form of living. To talk. To deal, because the second lover called 911 on me, the police supposedly trying to have me jailed because I said someone, and now she said what? She said, I will sue you. In fact, she sues me. I have no communication with her. I don't talk to her. Are you insane? I don't want to see her. Those are chairs. Steps on staircases. Somebody want to give me money, not happening, I see. So I wait a bit. Then the 30-day limit is over, In fact, it's very busy. Terribly disgusting, everything. Terribly fast, terribly slow. Terribly repeating. Terribly the same shit. Ridiculous joke. It's relative. I have nothing to say, nothing to regret. I would do it again or not, who knows, but the past is now, meaning make no mistakes. Reflect properly upon your knowledge, I would say. And I think I might have to sleep. And that was definitely a beautiful Buddha film, because at least in that little bit of dream, I was really happy. I was so happy and the kids were happy, everything was happy in that dream on the Buddha, when the Buddha was live. But then I heard the news and I was so scared, one more time, a reification of an Asian woman. No, do we like that? No. It's disgusting. Fever. Yeah. And then the other one, then yeah, and then this, and then yeah, gross man, and yeah. And who was your gross? The Asian father who aborted Haruka's, forced the mother, the father. Jealous, couldn't handle white people. Me, in that case, because I could speak Japanese, pera pera. Takara Nihongo mo sabereru. Mochiron Nihongo sabereru. Mondai nai. Wakaru yo. Technology aru kara, dakara mo ima honto mata Nihongo dekiru yo. Moshi dattara. Moshi dattara, だけど、可能性が良くない。可能性がすごい悪い。可能性が experience with it is shit. Those were really rich people from really the Okano family, really an incredibly powerful, important family. For Saruko Okano, when she was pregnant with my kid, threw a chair at the Four Seasons, it was, I think, yes, at her pregnant daughter who did not want to abort. That brought that relationship to an end. But, where would I be now, huh? Where? That brings me to Gayachi's people. I could go over the 60-minute limit and tell one more time my story of my life, but I'm sorry if anybody in Japan here said, Haruko, I love you still. I mean, are you crazy or far away? Haru-chan, no? I mean, no, Haru-chan. Hier in US, Edgar, wo bist du? Nicht? Kann ich jetzt Deutsch oder nicht? but you cannot speak any German, and Isadora don't even start about it. That willpower. That was the second trip, so I stop. I make it 1 hour. Sorry for that. Rainer Ganahl is the filmmaker.